everybody.
Hi.
Hello.
I have a question real quick, Jess. Hopefully you can answer it. StreamYard just informed me I'm out of storage, so it's not going to record this, blah, 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 blah. Does that mean that this isn't going to be like recorded and posted to YouTube, or do you have any idea what's going on there?
I don't know. That's
Am I have to Google it?
maybe.
All right, that might be what I'm doing my first sprint.
Or just go in and delete some stuff during the first sprint. Like the older stuff that, like, delete it from StreamYard itself, not from YouTube. I'm sure it will stay on YouTube.
I was unaware that I had a storage limit because I didn't realize StreamYard did that. But excuse me, everything's learned.
Long story short, they used to automatically delete your recordings from StreamYard itself after 30 days, and now they don't.
Oh, okay.
So you have to go in and delete it yourself.
Gotcha. So I'll be doing that during the first stream because we wouldn't want Ren's first appearance on the channel to not be recorded, StreamYard motherfuckers.
Right?
Exactly.
I'm
It's
like,
incredibly
hey,
weird.
let's get some new people on the channel. StreamYard went, but no.
No, it's fine. It's
fine.
StreamYard's like, you've got enough teenagers, no more.
Also that.
Hi, everybody. Hope you're having a good day, a good weekend.
A wonderful life.
Jess does have power now.
I have the power.
Yes. Hello. Oh, excuse me. And hello to new faces in chat. I know at least one of you's new. I think two, but I know at least one. So
I'm new.
You've never been here before. Who are you? I don't know this woman. How did she get a link to StreamYard?
My name is Steve.
So what's funny
you can
about
call me Captain America.
What's funny for me about the name Steve is my convention boss, his name is Steve. Well, Steven technically, but it's Steve. But I, for over, how old am I? 14 years, 15 years, however many, a decade and a half at least, just refer to him as Ninja Boss. or just boss name. Like, I never use his name. In my phone, he has been Ninja Boss since I was 16 years old. And he is pulling back on running his conventions himself, and he's just like focusing more on the store and his eBay store. And he's hired somebody to basically take over running conventions for him, and his name is Steven. And so I'm like, in my phone, he is Steven parentheses new Ninja Boss, kind of.
I love that.
Whatever works.
So, which
Steves have to stick together.
If anybody's going to OhioCon, I will be there with Anime Pavilion. We do 20% off of mangas and DVDs and Blu-rays. So I'm sure we sell mugs now.
Ooh.
And just a bunch of stuff. So many things. So definitely stop on by. Sorry, I'm moving notifications from my phone because in the past I cleared my notifications, and then in the past 5 minutes I got 20, and I'm like, what the fuck?
I should mute my phone because undoubtedly every time we go live, I get 300 messages.
Oh, I have a lot too. What is that? I like never get notifications. My phone is like, hello.
Until you go live, and then it's just like ding 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 ding.
I can't turn off my notifications because my family forgets I stream on Mondays, and so sometimes they like contact me on Mondays. And my mother especially, if she cannot get, because I'm so reliable to get a hold of, if she can't get a hold of me, I'm dying. I am dying or asleep. There's no in between. So absolutely. I have to make sure.
That's why I just put it on vibrate, so like it
Yeah.
won't be like super loud and distracting.
Fox is like, I see it Steve's doing that you use Fox for Fox and Ninja for Ninja. It's definitely not just how you be. Look, sir, even my friends that I knew face to face for like all my life, we still had different names for each other. So I referred to my husband exclusively as Wingy because his screen name was One Winged Angel 07 until like, when did I stop calling you that? I think we were married.
I was expecting him to be like in the other room and to like run in and like jump on top of you and be like, "Why are you giving out my screen name?" Like it's just a fantastic vision in my brain.
That was
Unfortunately.
That was his AOL name. He doesn't use it anymore, and he didn't use it for anything else, I think. So
Why are you giving away my screen name? He just like shuts the whole thing down.
my laptop just shuts. Fox is like, wow, outing Chris. I like how everybody has yelled at me for outing Chris's screen name.
Except for Chris.
Except
Who
for
is
Chris.
there
He
and
just doesn't
knows.
care. He's just sitting over there like doing stuff on the computer.
Like, hello. It's fine.
Hey,
Whatever.
hey. Yes, yeah, for power.
Power.
Jess and I sort of have announcements, not like new announcements, but we have announcements when we do the intros. So
Do we?
yes, we do. We need
I
more
wonder
people
what it
to
is.
apply.
Yes.
I'm also okay. So first, that is not the folder I needed. Hold on. Da, 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 da. I always forget to put that up. How is everybody's weekend? Tell me. Let me know.
I had no power.
Fox, you will not remove me from my own stream because of my husband's non-existence offense at his oversharing wife.
Oh my god.
That would be
I don't
awesome,
appreciate
actually.
these threats.
Oh my god.
My weekend was great. I had no power. I played lots of board games and puzzles and read a book, and my nephew clobbered me in the face, and I have this really cool bruise right here.
I actually got a burn over the weekend because I was cooking pasta and I just burnt my arm a little bit. So that was great. Kind of sums up my weekend right there.
Weekend of pain.
Yeah, pretty much.
I have a new cut right here that my child noticed. He was like,
wow.
"What happened?" And I'm like, "I don't know." And it's like, it's kind of funny because I have a scar. You can't really see it on camera, but I have a scar right here, and then now I have one going this way. So I swear, I look like it. If you saw me in person, because like on camera, I look a lot paler than I am. Sometimes you can kind of see like right here that I am actually a very, very, very light golden brown-ish tone. Like that's my undertones and everything. So any scar shows up glaringly. Like this is pretty white. It's pretty white, but you can't see it on camera. And I swear, if you see me in person, if you just look at like my arms and my legs, I look like some YA protagonist that like went in and did my adventuring in the woods and running through the thorny brambles that, you know, grasped at my limbs as I escaped the demon hordes.
Yeah, I can relate. My hands are they're scratched up. I have 2 cats and they really like to treat me as their little chew toy. So I have so many scars. It's kind of hard to see because my lighting sucks right now, but in person, the first thing that people always tell me is like, wow, you have a lot of scars. And I'm like, yeah.
Indeed I do.
Yeah.
Thank you.
My cats don't scratch because I trained that out of them to like the play scratching, so they don't do that. But like a couple weeks ago, I will sleep like this sometimes, and my cat Balder will curl up in my arms and essentially just become my teddy bear. Well, I had one of those weird moments in a dream where you wake up jumping because you feel like you fell or something.
Oh yeah.
And I did that, and it scared the fuck out of him. And he was like, "What the fuck?" And I'm like, "Oh, sorry. You're good. I'm good. We're good." And then the next morning, I was like, that's a scratch.
Just a little cat scratch.
Stayed up until 4:30 gaming on Saturday and slept until 11 on Sunday. So groovy. Oh, good weekend. I put my war with CB on hold to focus all my efforts on killing the son of a motherfucker that is Winter. I'm sorry I'm loud.
Samesies.
I had a pretty good weekend, and I'm working on a Valentine's gift for my best friend. It's a short story of her favorite ship, which is 2 characters in my own story. I love that.
So cute.
It takes me back when I used to write all of my friends' little shipping stories for Valentine's Day. I had a good weekend. Got most of the irrigation and my trellis done in my greenhouse. Nice.
I for some reason read irrigation and toenails, and I was like, "What is happening?"
I just
what is happening?
Yeah, I have clean toenails, Jess. God,
I was worried.
But what I now need is in a greenhouse a little spring that is dedicated to cleaning my toesies. In the spring, because it's a spring, so the water is continuously moving, so it cleans. Yes, that's what I need now. As I make note in my future castle. I had 5 days off due to snow, and I did nothing, and it was amazing. Fair. All of the winter. Like, we got ice storms, and then I saw something on the internet that was like the US, something about, or it's like this guy who pretends to be different countries or states to do little skits, and he was like the UN, and he's like, "Oh yeah, we're doing great right now. US or USA, how are you doing over there?" And they're like, "Oh, cold. Oh, so much ice, so much snow, send warmth." And I'm like, "Oh, it's not just us." That's our little section. Excuse me. I worked all weekend and read through my whip. Sweet. Very nice. All right, we are going to do introductions in like a minute.
1,000.
2 1,000. 3 1,000.
3 1,000.
I took down the wrong thingamasinger. Oh no, Fox is typing to me. I don't know what he's about to say.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting patiently.
Gentle reminder. he sent a gif of a. Oh, I accidentally clicked. Of a judging Fox. This is very judgy.
He's just waiting for you to be like, "Introduce yourselves. It's 15 after. You're 5 minutes behind." And he's not having a good time right now.
In mild defense, the last 3 streams, I'd look at the thing at like 13, 14 minutes, and it's like, okay, yeah, we'll introduce ourselves in a minute or so. And then the next thing I know, it's 18 minutes after, and he's like, "Sam, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "Nothing. Not what I'm supposed to be doing, that's for sure." So and every time he's like, "Who is Jess? Who the fuck is she?" Nobody knows. Always picking on my regulars. You're lucky they love you.
Indeed, they do. I miss little Fox in the corner.
I know. If anybody wants to help us fund the little Fox in the corner, you can donate to the Ko-fi down below.
Ha 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 ha.
Taking my car out to drive to work filled me with more wrath than any villain origin story ever could. But did you dig your car out with a knife? Because I'm never allowed to live that down now.
With a highlighter?
I had no power for 4 days plus 3/4 of ice plus 4 inches of snow. Yes, it's.
No, thank you.
I spent all weekend assembling my book chapters in order to get an accurate page count, so I get an accurate size from Ingram Spark, so I can have an accurate book cover. Fair. Fox is like, you sure ain't. For context, for anybody new here, a couple weeks ago, I had to take the kids. We'll do intros after this. A couple weeks ago, I had to take the kids to school, but I had like an inch of ice on my windshield.
Mm-hmm.
And, I did what you would normally do. I turned the, van on. I had the defroster. I was like, the vent? What the fuck is it called? I had the defroster going and everything, but it was only like, it was heating up the bottom and the middle, but it was taking forever to get to the top. And I was like, okay, well, I'm in a video call with CB because sometimes we video call in the morning because that's like when she gets up and when I get up. And I handed the phone to Roxy.
Mm-hmm.
And so Roxy's holding the phone, and I'm looking, and I find my dagger before I find my ice scraper. And so I have the dagger, and I turn, and I just hear CB go, is that a knife? And I'm like, yeah, I gotta go get the ice off the windshield. And she's like, what? And then I go out, and I use my knife to get the ice off the windshield, which... do not stab the ice with a knife. What you do is you use the knife as more of a fulcrum to go under the ice and, poke up. That way you don't stab your windshield and you're just breaking the ice up and getting the ice off. Well, I go in and CB's like, do you have an ice scraper? I'm like, yeah, but I don't know where it is. And I found the knife first. And like, whatever tool works. And I am like, I'm not allowed to live this down now. By either CB or Fox, especially Fox. He never lets me live anything down.
I want you to know that my aunt in this crazy weather storm was driving my mom's car, got stuck at work, and my mom did not have an ice scraper in her car, but what she did have was a vacuum cleaner with a crevice attachment, and she cleaned her windshield with the crevice attachment. It no longer fits the vacuum cleaner, but her windshield was clean.
You gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. Could I have spent an extra 5 minutes looking for my ice scraper? Yes. But
did I?
No. Also, my neighbors, I guess something was wrong with their central heat and air because they had a heater guy out there looking at it, and it's right next to my driveway. And I caught them watching me a little bit, so my neighbors may have some ideas about me as they saw me taking ice off my windshield with a knife.
Oh,
but it's fine.
It's fine.
The new people gotta know. They gotta know who they're dealing with right off the bat.
Right out the gate.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Excuse me. All right. Now introduce thyselves, Jess. I want to point out
friends.
After.
What? You want to point out what?
It's 18 after, because earlier I was.
Oh, don't make me come over there. Anyway, hello, friends. I am Jessica Williamson. I post reading, writing, book, and planner related content on my channel. When I have power and can do videos. My links are all linked down below. I'm also the original creator of the Worldwide Writeathon with Miss Sam, who's over here, not over here. She's over here. And the next round of the Worldwide Writeathon will be in March. And currently applications are open, and all of the links for those are down below as well. Host applications. I should be more clear.
You find them via the Worldwide Writeathon link tree down below.
Yep, that too. That's all I got. That's me. Hi, how you doing? Ren's turn.
Hello, I'm Ren. I make videos here on YouTube about writing and about reading, and that's pretty much what I do. My links are below as well. Very excited to be here for the first time. Well done.
I didn't expect that to be so short, so I gotta go back to my Miley note. And hello, I am Writing Mom Samantha L. Nasset. This is my channel where I talk about writer things, parent things, and writer-parent things with an intro longer than my screen name. I host live streams like this on Mondays. We're also going to do some Let's Talks this month, such as next Monday, we're doing Let's Talk Romance and Fiction, and then we're continuing our Let's Talk Sailor Moon series at the end of the month. We are on season 4. I have a very dry throat today, so I apologize ahead of time for all of the coughing and clearing that will happen. When I post videos, which hoping to get back to this year, they will be on Thursdays. I'm on a forced hiatus because of chronic illness and then a bunch of life stuff that happened. But the chronic illness isn't as dire anymore, so just got to get through the life stuff. If you would like to read a sample of my writing so that you know that I'm not completely full of shit when I talk about writing and writing advice, you can read my spooky flash fiction, Until Pizza Do Us Part, on my website, SamanthaLNasset.com. And while you're there, you can sign up to my newsletter to keep up to date with all things Sam and a lot of Worldwide Writeathon news, because we're not making a separate newsletter for that. If you like the channel, please subscribe and ring-a-ding that bell. I greatly appreciate it. Also, like the stream. And if you would like to help support the channel and get our corner fox back, then you can donate to the Ko-fi down below. And that's it. That's it. Oh, well, you already said the www stuff. So
I did.
If you don't like the idea of Sam stabbing the ice, what are you working for the snow? What's funny is winter is one of my favorite seasons. It's like my second favorite season. The only thing is I hate cold without snow, and I live in Tennessee where it's often cold and slush, so it's very at odds with my soul.
I forgot to say give Sam money. I was too busy making the corner fox and I forgot.
It's okay, everybody has their own priorities.
I mean,
Go find my timer. What is everybody working on today?
because I have the power, I need to get my planner together for this week so I can figure out what the crap I'm doing with my life. And then if I have more time, I need to organize my desk and my office and my life.
Sorry, Fox. CV's not here to keep us. She's probably reading fanfic again. I don't know. Where my child is gone.
You know, you'll have that sometimes. It's fine.
Ren, what is thy working on?
I was trying to finish reading through what I have of my work in progress, but I did not do that because I got hungry and I ate. So I need to finish reading through that. I just have like half of a chapter left. So I'm going to do that and make a plan for editing the first like 100 pages. Yeah.
Nice. Sorry, I was harassing my child.
You're allowed.
I'm getting some video thumbnails done, then history homework. Nice. Working on my sci-fi novel. The first sprint, I will be figuring out that StreamYard storage issue, and then also working on maybe making a graphic for the apply to host, which won't be super useful for us this time, or maybe it will. I don't know. I'm gonna make it, and then it can be slightly edited for next time.
Listen,
I thought about that yesterday. Look, I was
failed.
yesterday I was like, I'll make this graphic after the stream, and then I was organizing the media kit, and I was like, oh, I don't have templates for 2 people and 5 people. And then like Fox is like, you're not allowed to make ones for 5 people, and I'm like, well, I'm doing it anyway. And then I ended up making a bunch of templates, so we have 3 different templates for each number of possible people. Then I was like, fuck the thing I actually needed to make. I'm done now.
I thought I went back into the past and like made copies of all of the things I posted last year and then like made new versions of it, but apparently I suck at my own life. So it's fine.
It's fine. Look, every event we improve. All right. We're not saying by leaps and bounds, but
oh, there is that. Look at that. Host
Look at it.
applications open. Deadlines, important dates, deadline. God, I suck.
I'm working on a freebie short story for a future website. Nice. Doing more revisions / rereads. I love my book, but I'm pretty sick of reading it.
I feel that. Oh my God.
If you don't hate your whip by the time you're done with it, you're doing it wrong. I will say I really hate when people say that, because I have never, ever gotten to that point with anything I've ever written. And I've gone through beta processes for short stories and for 2 novels before. So I'm like, well, I feel that it is a majority experience. I don't feel it's a universal experience.
I don't know that like hating it is maybe the correct term, but like being sick of it.
Yeah,
is
being
probably
sick,
more
being tired
universally
of it.
That's how I
is more universally accepted than hating it.
No,
But-
that's what I'm saying. No, that I don't go through that.
That's fine.
So
You are allowed to feel however you would like to feel.
well, yes, I'm not asking permission. I'm just saying
I'm not here to gaslight you.
it's like the no tears in the writer, no tears in the reader thing. I'm like, but I get giddy when I write things,
Thinking about making them cry makes me happy. So
does.
actually,
Right?
So much. I've made so many people cry, and I've never made me cry. So
I have made me cry, but not at things that were like cry worthy, just like at weird random spots.
that's fair.
So, you know.
I'll cry if I like really like a scene. I'll just randomly cry about it, but it's not sad. I just really like it, so I cry.
Fox is like make me cry, bitch, and this motherfucker, like that is one of my lifetime goals to write something that makes him cry. I have threatened to murder off this one character named Lita to see if that does it, but I don't actually want to kill her. And I feel like if I actually did kill her, I may damage our friendship.
What if in one of your books somebody's making cornbread and it falls into the river and no one gets to eat it and it's ruined?
That's where that was going.
Would that make him cry?
But I don't know. That might make me cry. I'm just kidding. Fox is just TMing Jess. Jess. Jess.
I mean, right though?
I think you hurt him deep in his soul.
I'm just saying. Like, if you want to make him cry, hit him where it hurts. Hit him
You're
in the cornbread.
Wrong. You're not wrong. Falling cornbread is a stretch. If you're writing a cornbread novel, I want to pay
No.
So, fun fact. Part of what I like to do with world building is I have a heavy focus on food creation. And so I will look up what crops are native to certain ecosystems, and then I like to each of my cultures in my current whip has like 2 or 3 different kinds of breads that are native to them, including like bread that's made from cornmeal. So like one of my peoples, I think it's my desert people, has cornbread as like they're just like daily bread.
I love that.
And this is one of those things where it's like some people complain that in stories there's like too much description that goes into food and that it's basically food porn. And I'm like, yes, I agree. That's why mine is all behind the scenes. But let me tell you, I can tell you all of their crops. I can tell you what's native to it. There's other like very vital things that I can't tell you, but the food.
The food.
I very much like food.
Cornbread. My favorite thing to write is when one character gets all hurt and then someone else, normally a love interest, and they comfort each other. I too enjoy making my characters suffer so that they can comfort each other. And in fact, that's how my love interests meet. And then their romance builds in a graveyard over mutual grief during war times. So,
I can get behind that.
Me too.
It's a Sam timer with a Sam face.
You've never seen this timer before. I'm certain at least 3/4 of this is just me. Me every Monday. Give me all the food descriptions. Look, I am so fucking food oriented. When I like write a festival scene or somebody entering a house or something, the smell of some sort of food is almost always going to be in the opening paragraph, and I don't even think anything of it. I'm just like, the warm smell or the tangy warm smell of the barbecued sirloin or something, and then like my beta readers will be like, oh my god, I'm so hungry now.
I'm hungry now, thanks.
It's not my fault. I will not be held responsible.
It is your fault, and now I'm hungry.
The number one like complaint I get with Until Pizza Do Us Part is just people like the first thing they say is "fuck you, I want pizza now." I'm like, go order a pizza. How's this my fault?
You know how pizza works.
I'm apparently just one of my minor deity domains is food.
I love that.
I'll accept it.
All right, who wants to count us down?
Ren can count us down as the inaugural new person.
3, 2, 1, start.
And we're back. So two things. Did everybody share what they were working on today?
Yes, ma'am.
I think so.
So then, before everyone tells me how they did on that sprint, I finished a little early, so I was scrolling things. And apparently, in the Sunday New York Times crossword yesterday, the central theme clue was the better of two sci-fi franchises. And regardless of whether or not you put Star Wars or Star Trek, the remaining crossword clues still worked. Like the first one down is it's a, you could say rap or trap. And like body part that precedes band, waist or wrist. One involved in a transaction, payees, payers, let out in a way, leaked or leased. And I'm like, whoever came up with that, they one clever motherfucker.
That is really clever.
That's pretty brilliant.
They should get a raise.
They should. So how did everybody do that sprint?
I did okay. I read through 10 pages and I took a couple notes.
I'm about to pull my cord out. How'd you do, Jess?
I, first and foremost, and most importantly, got hot chocolate.
Yes, as one do.
As one do. And I started working on my planner. And while we're talking, I'm staring down and putting stickers on things. Just ignore that.
Just ignore the fact that Jess is ignoring us. It's fine. I do all the time. I still talk to her.
I can listen to you with my ears. I don't need to look at you.
No, you need your eyes to listen.
I'm showing like a little bit of delay of myself in the camera. Like you guys are fine, but I'm delayed, so it like freaks me out to watch it.
That's fine. You're fine. I'm just messing with you.
So I've been like not paying attention.
I am not one who can talk because like multitasking is so ingrained in me. I literally, as you were saying that you were gonna look down and I was razzing you for it, I was checking my text.
I was also finishing up a note while
so you're fine. So funny enough, though, remember how earlier I said I can't turn my phone off because my family contacts me on Monday? My sister called me a couple minutes into the sprint and she's like, hey, and I'm like, yeah. I'm like, your timing's really funny because I was just talking about how my family forgets I stream on Mondays. And I hear the deepest sigh released from her soul. And she's like, did I interrupt? And I'm like, no, you got me at a sprint. And she's like, how? How do I always manage to catch you? I'm like, I always the first sprint too, never the second.
That's so funny.
And it's even worse today because we started like 10 minutes later than I've started before. So her timing is exquisite. I made a WW host recruiting post for Instagram and posted it in the media kit. I was semi-lazy and just edited our deadlines and announcement graphics.
Fair enough.
Listen, you sent me a picture and I had Discord open and not this, and I was just like, cool. That was my answer. Just a thumbs up.
Well,
You're not paying attention. I'm not paying attention.
When I send Jess like graphics and stuff for the WW, note that she's the second person to see them. They're always vetted through Fox first before I send them to Jess. So she only gets to see Fox approved things.
I hate to see like the look on Fox's face when he sees the things that I post. He's probably just like the old cartoons where smoke just comes out the ears, like the spacing. Because I just shove as much stuff in as I can, and like, no space.
I think spacing is the number one sin that most people commit, and then also to being too busy and too many fonts. I think are the top three. I'm sure he'll correct me otherwise, but
I'm sure he
Oh.
loves me then. I'm probably his favorite person.
He appreciates that you're self-aware and willing to learn, I'm sure. Food porn. I wrote a small bit about how my MC loves cheese. There's no cheese in hell, you see, and she loses her shit when the last event went moldy. No.
Oh gosh. Do you like cheese?
Matt bequeathed the mantle of stream counter to Ren. Just got my thumbnails done, and the second one is interesting. It's a skit, and I'm being dragged across the screen by my brother. Don't ask.
I laughed so hard when I saw that in the middle of the sprint. I was like, oh my god.
Small brag from myself. When I was making the templates for the WWW, which, to be clear, these aren't things that hosts have to use, but because we do have a lot of people new to hosting and new to YouTube and stuff, we did, especially last time, get some requests for like some thumbnail templates that people could like get an idea or use as a starting thing. And especially when people are trying to add more than 2 people to a thumbnail, it starts to get tricky. So I went through and in making the templates, I'm very proud that I want to say almost half of them had no critiques. And the ones that did have critiques, they were just like bitty little like spacing things having to do with the background, which I don't know if anybody's ever tried to move a background in Canva with assets on top of it. So I was very proud that was my biggest thing. So yay to me. He's I have to send you the gift, Jess. I assume this is Fox's answer to what you imagine is his face.
Yeah, that actually, yeah, that's it. That's even better.
Fox, may I show the audience, because I love how dignified it looks in its displeasure.
It's kind of like, I hate you, but okay.
I hate you, but it's fine. You can exist. I'm waiting for permission, and then I'll show it. That didn't feel. I promise you, it was 20 minutes, but I feel that.
Sam is not me. She doesn't forget and leave things on 2 times speed, and then make a 30-minute sprint into a 15-minute one. That's me. Just me.
I will say I forgot to put our break timer on, so I'm going to do that now.
Yeah,
I hope y'all are okay with a longer-ish stream today. I know Jess will be tired because it's close to her bedtime.
I will live.
But I'm very... Let me tell you how my night went. I fucked up because like the kids were off school for a week since the house all had the plague. And it's called Cartoon Mad GIF. But so, and I did not get them back into their sleep schedule as I normally would after a vacation time. So like my middle child, who normally is the first one out and sleeps very well, the other 2 are more like me. They're night owls who have a harder time falling asleep. So he fell asleep. Well, the other 2 were cutting up, and then they woke him up, and he had just enough sleep that he was now awake. So I was up with him until 3:30, and then he gets to sleep, and my youngest, like at this point, it's 4 a.m, and I'm like, I'm just not gonna. I'm gonna drop them off at school, and then I'll sleep, because otherwise I'm gonna be fucked up. I'm listening to my audiobook, which the woman narrating it, when she does the male love interest voice, it's just like so deep, and like I'm just like, put me to sleep, baby. And yeah, so I dozed off when he was being, I think, flirty. I don't remember. I just remember the tone of voice. I'm like, you can lull me to sleep. And then I like opened my eyes, vaguely aware that I had fallen asleep, and there's just this shadowy form in front of me, which the book I'm reading, the like evil villain people are shadowy forms. So I'm like, the fuck? And it was my youngest, who was like, Mom, I can't sleep. And I'm like, oh, fuck. So I get her, and I'm already out of it because I got just enough sleep to be fucked up. And then it's 7:30 and the sun is rising, and she's all like, Mom, it's daytime. And I'm like, yeah, but like the alarm isn't going off for 30 minutes, so go back to bed. And she's like, no, I'm gonna go get dressed. And I'm like, okay. And then she comes. She's in her dress, her leggings, her backpack, her coat, her hat. She's ready to go. She looks like the ghost of school days yet to come. Just standing in my doorway, like the hallway backlighting her. And I'm like, I'm not waking your brothers up for 15 minutes. Go watch TV, play your Switch. I don't care.
Go do something somewhere else.
And like, I felt so shitty this morning. I like called my mom and I was like, Mama, can you take the children for me? I fucked up. I didn't get them on their sleep schedule in time. And she's like, yeah, I just got back in from walking the dogs. I'll be there. And I'm like, cool. Because she's like, she quit her job a couple weeks ago, and now like she kept threatening me. She's like, you're gonna see me more. And I'm like, good, come over, see if I care. She takes my children to school and then sits with me for an hour as we talk about K-dramas. And how because I'm like, I want Tabby to watch some of these K-dramas with me, but she refuses. And my mom's like, which ones? Maybe I can get her. So my mother's conspiring with me now.
I love
I was a touch distracted and only read 3 pages. Nice. Oh, the point of the story was that after my mother left, I had cleaned my living room and then laid down for a little bit. Because at that point, I was awake, which was stupid, but I was awake. So I cleaned to wear myself out, and then finally I laid back down, and the audiobook got to another one of those scenes where they were like being romantic, so the voice got husky again, and I'm like, lull me to sleep, baby. And that's how I went to sleep. Which, like, I don't know if that makes the audiobook sound bad. It doesn't. I really love the voice she gives the male love interest. It's just, as a teenager, I went to sleep listening to, like, special Yu Hakusho soundtracks where, like, at the beginning, they would do a little skit, and there were, like, 2 voice actors in specific that had very deep, husky voices. So for me, that's my bedtime voice now. Like, that's what I need to go to sleep. And my husband, who, like, when we used to, like, do phone calls when we were long distance dating, that's how his voice sounded over the phone. And, like, he can still, like, do that. That's just, like, that's not his natural state of being. So he's playing Batwa, and he's, like, the cutscenes come up, and he's talking for Link using that voice. And I'm like, you're not allowed to flirt with video game women with that voice. That is my voice. And he's like, hun. No, tis my voice. But 3 pages, progress is progress. Sorry. Sorry I'm late. I thought I had more time before it started. It's fine. Read through chapter 7. Woohoo! Did finance stuff. Started character profiles. Drank cocoa. Nice. I got the final page count for Mark of the Champion. It only took me working nonstop for 3 days. Well, I'm glad that you have accomplished it.
Yeah.
59 words, mostly just deciding where to go in the whip. Woohoo! One of my favorite Fox creations was the Sam GeoCities page. That was pretty good. The ghost of school days yet to come. Let me tell you, she had that outfit picked out since Friday. Like, she was supposed to go back to school on Thursday. The boys weren't cleared until the 6th, but she was supposed to go back on Thursday. But we had ice storms, and they were like, it's a half day. And I'm like, I'm not going out there with Tennessee drivers on an icy half day. Like that. I'm like, Roxy, there's no school today. We're not doing it. And like, I hadn't even woke her up. She had set her own alarm, comes downstairs fully dressed, and I'm like, no, we're not doing it today. And she just very dejectedly goes up, and then that night, I'm like, baby, there's more ice storms, so school might be canceled tomorrow. Just the deepest, most I'm tolerating existence, but I'm not happy sigh came out of her. And so, like, last night, she's like, do we have school tomorrow? And I'm like, yes, you have school tomorrow. And last night, she's like, I'm so excited I can't sleep. And I'm like, I understand, but you need to sleep. I have dishes to do.
Child, please sleep.
I started those dishes after I got them back from school because my ass passed out after I cleaned. Also, very belatedly, here's the Fox gift.
Oh, I love it.
Just imagine me sending Sam my templates or graphics that I've made in Canva, and she shows it to Fox, and then this is Fox's face.
To be fair, sometimes I preemptively know the spacing needs to be fixed, and I'm like, let me just go in and edit some things, and then I will send it to Fox.
It's not as much fun that way for me personally, but it's also fine.
She wants direct judgment.
Yeah.
This Jess made the templates for the WW last time, and she shared them, and I was like, can I go edit those a wee bit? And she's like, go for it. I must say I love and appreciate that Jess is so laid back about that.
I do things because they need to get done, and I make them acceptable, and Sam makes them better. Like, I do it because I have to, and Sam's like, but I just want to finagle for a while, and I'm like, finagle, have a great time.
I love that perspective because my perspective is that you make it acceptable to the general public, and I make it so Fox doesn't kill us.
Also that.
Everybody needs their own
he wouldn't
pocket
get
Fox.
cornbread.
Yeah, I know. That's like the thing is he can't actually kill me because also he needs me to read his newest manuscript, which motherfucker's a hobby writer, but this bitch produced 2 manuscripts and I can't even finish my outline. And they're good. Well, the first one's good. I haven't read the second one, so I can't if I say it's good now, he's just gonna be like, woman, you don't do that. And I'm like, you're right, I don't. I don't say anything's good before I read it. I'm very judgy of people, which is why, when I was setting up my platform and my website, Fox was like, so what do you want on your website? And I'm like, a sample of my writing, because I don't trust nobody's opinions or advice until I read their work. So I don't expect anybody to trust me till they read my work.
That's fair.
I have 2 samples that I need to send to an editor, and then I'll be able to be like, you can read one of my 3 short stories on my website, not just Until Pizza Do Us Part. And they're all, I wouldn't say drastically different, because I do feel the other 2 are similar-ish, but the characters are all different enough that it's fun.
I have a short story that at some point I would like to finish and put on a website that I also at some point would like to finish, because
Excuse me.
It's variously under construction, but I'm not supposed to be working on things this year, so I'm not allowed to touch it per my own rules. For my own rules, I'm not allowed to touch my website, but I did buy my domain name and all of the things. So I'm getting there. But eventually I will put my short story on there once I finish that as well. But I have stories out to my CP currently. So I've got plenty of things going on writing related. I just needed the internet so that I could do things.
It's fine.
It's incredibly rude of the world to to do that. But in all fairness, like it could have been way worse. And I know there are people who had it a lot worse, natural disaster wise in the past year. It's been a really weird year. So I try not to complain too much.
I was like, January is going to be my month to do all my writing things. And Mother Nature said, how about ice storms? How about a plague in your house? And I'm like, touche. Touche. Yeah.
I mean, I did all of the writing things in January.
Yes,
I was
I'm
able to get it accomplished.
very proud of you finishing your manuscript.
Like I did good things. I was a grown up. But now I have to read and finagle with Kate's manuscript.
I will say
do
the
all the
one
things.
good thing about migraines is because I can't do much else. I go through audiobook binges on my library app. Like I was like, you know what I haven't read in a long ass time? A romance, like a contemporary romance novel. Because like I used to read them prolifically. I've read over 200 romance novels at this point in time, which may not necessarily seem impressive, but I'm like just romance novels. I've read that many. And but I hadn't read any in recent years, and I was like, okay, I need to go on a romance novel binge, which reminded me of some things about the genre that I'm like, but it's fine. It's fine. Perky nipples are not the equivalent of an erection. I'm just saying. I know that I know that it can be a thing, but I'm just saying that one
Are
of
you
the
sure?
books I read this, but also I then read 2 more books from that author, and I guess I can accept it because it was just a that character thing. Like, not all of her female characters did it, so I'm willing to accept that that is, in fact, just how that character was. Because I have known some women who at least spoke as if their perky nipples were the equivalent of an erection. So I guess there may be a real life basis for that I just don't relate to. But I forgot that was a thing. And so there was that. And also how like in a lot of contemporary romance novels, like people think shifters started the whole soulmate connection. Nah, read a contemporary romance novel from a prolific romance writer, and like they'll be like they just at first it is lust at first sight, and then they're like, yeah, I just want to fuck them, but I'm not ready for commitment. And I'm like, I'm here for the self-awareness. But then they are like they fall in love, and they're like, no, it's not love. It's just I just want to fuck them, and I'm like. But do you? But is this the motivation? I'm like, I love that about romance novels. As opposed to like in a lot of like where romance crosses over with other genres, I find that it's like the reverse, where it's like insta love and then they like hold back the lust part of it. Whereas in like contemporary romance, it is insta lust and then the love comes later. Because a lot of the times it's about like healing, like they've got to heal past their past trauma and stuff. Although there's sometimes I'll get one where it's all like this person has an issue because of their past, which is understandable. So then it leads to some sort of roadblock. And then they're demonized for it. And I'm like, look here, motherfucker. We dealt with the skeletons in your closet. Don't even this victim blaming bullshit. But it's fine.
It's gonna be okay, Sam. And you just
take the deep breath.
But also at 5 a.m, when I'm on my library app, sometimes I just because all the book ones have like 20 people waiting on them. So I'll just put holds on things, and then a week or so later, my library app's like, there's 5 books available for you. And I'm like, I have no memory of any of you, but okay. And this one, so I went from reading 3 contemporary romances that all take place in a small town, like outside of DC. And that was fine. And then these were adult romances, and then I start reading a YA romance, which I was like, I didn't realize I put a hold on any of these, but all right. and because it's like she's a teenager, she's a senior and stuff, and I'm like, okay, cool. So we're YA right now, and then like there's just some things that happened that I'm all like, well, that's a little shady. Well, that's a little weird. Like people are all like, "Oh, well, you shouldn't go near someone like them, or you shouldn't be friends with someone like them." And I'm all like, "Did I pick up a paranormal? Is this a horror? What the fuck am I reading?" And then things keep going, and then they're all like, "We're from far away," and I'm like, "Is you aliens?" They is aliens. Apparently, this small town is a mix of aliens and humans. But the humans don't know about the aliens. So I'm like, this was not what I expected. And then I went back and read the synopsis, and the synopsis, like, it's all like she moves to a small town because like they need a fresh start after dad dies. And I'm like, chapter 1 told me that. It was like runs into Dick McAss hat, and I'm like, yeah, did that. And then it's like, but like he's incredibly sexy, and I'm like, can confirm she was very head over heels for his testicles. And then it's like, and they keep going back and forth, like, because they're like sassy and antagonistic, and I'm like, definitely getting the enemies to lovers vibe. But then she finds out he's an alien, and I'm like, yes, the fine print I didn't read. But also spoilers, you don't find that out till halfway through the book.
I think it's so funny because we were literally talking inside Break Central today about how we don't read the synopsis.
That's why.
This 100% sounds like me every time I get an email from NetGalley that I've been approved for another arc. And I'm like, I don't even remember. I don't remember ever even looking at this. Now, to be fair, some of them are from St. Martin's Press, who I am an influencer for. So like I get arcs from them regularly, just like from emails from their marketing team. But so like those ones, when I get them and I'm like, I didn't request this, I'm like, but it's St. Martin's Press. Like that makes sense. But sometimes I'll get them and I'm like, I don't even think I've ever even heard of this book before. When did I request this? I have no memory. So I think I just like go in and in the middle of the night, like scrounging through for some reason, because I don't need more arcs to read. I have like 30 of them. I've got plenty. Why am I requesting more? I don't know. And I'll just be like, I must just be on there at 3 a.m. like, this looks cool. I like this cover. That person's name sounds fun.
I do. And like, Libby, I'm like, you know what? I've read enough of the deep fantasy for a while. I need me a good light read. Where's my romance? All I want is 2 people falling in love and dealing with drama. That's all I need. And like, another thing that I love is in more modern romance, it is becoming like 2010 onward. The way that the miscommunication is handled in romance is different now. Because like before, it used to be like a small miscommunication that would literally be cleared up in like 2 sentences, right? But now it's like the miscommunication, they're not miscommunications in that sense so much as it's just like something that character A hid from character B, and it's reasonable that they hid it, but then as like time goes on it gets bigger and bigger, so they're like, oh, I don't wanna, because then shit's gonna hit the fan, but you're like, boo, shit's gonna hit the fan anyway.
Yeah.
But then like in the last one I read like that, she was like, is this true? Is this what happened? And he's like, yes, but sit down and let me explain the full story. And she's like, okay. And he explained the full story. And she's all like, you know what? I get it. I understand. But bitch, I'm still mad at you. We will see if I can forgive you later. And out the door. And I'm like, this is what I'm here for.
Good for
this
her.
Makes sense. So if anybody wants some book recs, I will always tell you the things that I had to be like about, but I love recommending books.
Oh, wow.
I just finished a drawing of a scene that Valentine project I mentioned. There will be 2 drawings added. Ooh, illustrations. This drawing is the character getting pied in the face by his flustered girlfriend. I had to go through several things to figure out what pied in the face was.
Me too.
Again, been reading some things. Oh, also so I just finished like Obsidian is the alien book, and at the end of it, so throughout the whole thing, I'm like, this motherfucker in love with her, but he don't want to admit it because like he shouldn't fraternize with humans. But then like something happens, and now they're like bonded through this weird thing, so it's basically okay for him to be with her now. And so he's all like, oh, there's worse things that could happen being together, and she's like, no, motherfucker. No. You have no. You may be hot. I might like kissing you. But no, you've been a dick and we ain't gonna be together just because you have few options. No. No, if you want me, you're gonna prove it, motherfucker. And he's all like, but you like me. And she's like, there's more to romance than that, sir. And he's like, but we like each other. And she's like, no. No, because as far as I know, as far as I can tell, you hated my guts, and then you're like, "Oh, we're bonded together, so now we can be together." No, I may be horny and 17, but I'm not stupid. And I'm like, God, I love this girl. I love her so much. So
Can I just say, I love the way that you recommend books. Like, half the time, I'm just like, I'm a little confused, but I want to read it. So whatever it is.
that is the
Read
emotion I aspire.
I have no idea what's
But
happening, but can I read it now?
Exactly.
Does anyone know, or does anyone like the nickname AJ for Alexandra Jordan? Yeah, I think it works.
Yeah. I think it makes sense.
All right, and we should start the next sprint now.
We should, or we're gonna get yelled at.
Yeah, the break timer went off halfway through my tangent about the aliens. All right, count us down, Reen.
3, 2, 1, go.
And we're back. How did everybody do that spring?
I did good. I finished reading what I have, and I made a little plan to fix everything that needs to be fixed.
Nice. Jess, what about you?
I finished my planner stuff, and then I watched some YouTube videos.
I adjusted. Well, I added a URL link to the host application graphic because I realized that was like the part of the reason I wanted to make the graphic, and then I forgot when I actually made it. And then I found a way to take the Canva assets and put them into Photoshop, so which took up most of the time. I sent the file to Fox to test it because I don't have Photoshop. So to test to see if it actually works. But like after I did it, I I read the intro, I read the how-to, and I went through and I did it, and then it was like a couple things, and it's like not everything may work. If you don't have the fonts downloaded, they're not gonna work. And I'm like, son of a bitch. Well, let's see how well this works anyway.
None of your things will work, and we hate you. Got it.
But here you go. And I'm like, well, we'll see.
Got it. Okay.
So hello, Emily. I need you to know that when you showed up in chat, Fox messaged me that my Animu friend was here.
Emmy,
We love
I
her.
miss you.
I got a bit of writing done. Woohoo! That's really all, though. I mean, but that progress is progress. Copy edits. Oh yeah. 6 more pages read. Also, for anybody who's not following Emmy on Instagram, she just posted a thing about her book that's coming out, and the cover is gorgeous. So,
and also we just love Emmy.
Yes. And Jess, I may have started finagling with your schedule. Graphic.
Stop finagling with my schedule.
I made a copy so that I can finagle with it without touching your thing. But the black text was hard to read, so I made it white.
Listen, you didn't like the color, so I changed the color, okay?
You didn't like the color. Don't put that on me.
No one liked the color, so I changed the color.
I didn't even have a chance to tell you I didn't like the color yet. You were just like, I made this thing. I know the color makes it hard to read, but... And I'm like, yes, it blinds me. We should change it.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
It's all on me.
Sure.
Sure. Glad to be known as the Animu friend here. You're welcome. I believe in promoting all the peoples.
Yes.
Except
I confess, at one point in time, I knew what the book was about. But now I'm just like, oh yes, this Emmy's pretty cover, and I literally wipe synopsises from my mind because when I read, I very much read to figure things out. So I'm like, I can do it if I know things, because I won't forget things, and then I won't have figured it out on my own. I'm weird like that. So, y'all know what I've been reading lately. Has anybody else been reading anything interesting?
I'm in the middle of reading Lord of Shadows by Cassandra Clare, and I kind of hate it, but we're pushing through.
Been there. Which there was this one time I was reading a fantasy series in the first book, and I was so angry about so many things in the book. And one of my friends was like, "Well, why don't you just stop reading it?" And I'm like, "Sir, if I stopped reading every fantasy book I didn't like the sexism in, I wouldn't be able to read fantasy."
Oh, for real though.
it's true.
I'm glad that is a thing that is changing, but it's still.
Mm-hmm.
As far as Lord of Shadows goes, if you are a Cassie Clare stan, it is worth it in the long run, because I think that trilogy is like her most concise and well done trilogy. Just a little laggy in the middle.
I just don't like it because
because I shared the blurb doesn't mean I read that. Sorry, continue.
Oh, sorry. No, because I've read The Infernal Devices. That's my favorite one so far.
Yes.
I read The Mortal Instruments, sadly. That was an experience. And then The Dark Artifices, everyone talks about Emma and Julian, and they're my least favorite part about the book. Because every time they complain about not being able to date, I'm just like, I don't care. I'm a lesbian. I'm over here just like, I don't care about you.
You're whatever. Get off my screen.
Yeah.
Out my pages.
Pretty much. Yeah. I just can't stand them. And honestly, I just feel like this series was so hyped by so many Shadowhunter fans, and it's been very disappointing so far. I've just been pushing through because I know it's an important series, which is the main reason I'm still reading it. And then I do like some of the side characters and some of the side plots. So there are aspects I like, but
it's definitely, I think most of her books for me, like with the exception of the Infernal Devices, because as Amy says, we stand Infernal Devices. It's all on its own thing. But I think in all of her books, it is very much that like the main couple is not what I'm here for. I could care less. It's like all of the side characters and like the side plots and like the family aspects. Yeah, it's everything else. Like the main love interest couple, they're okay, but that's not what I'm here for.
Exactly.
You get me a non-romance book that I'm here for the main couple, and that's a rarity. If it's the romance book, I better be here for the main couple. But if it's not a romance book, then I'm usually always like, it's a side person for me.
Oh yeah.
Emmy laments that she also needs to read this.
I am currently reading The Plot, which is a book called The Plot. And it's about a like washed up so Kate and I chose it as the All the Tube Chat book club pick during the like bad art friend debacle. So it is like this washed up writer is now a professor, and one of his students is like this really cocky young guy who's like, I have the best plot ever. Like no one has ever used this plot before. No one's ever thought of it. Like even the worst writer could write this book and it would be the best book, the best plot ever done. And he tells the professor like what his plot is. We still don't know. I'm like 25% in. I still don't know what the plot actually is. But basically, like the professor is like, oh my gosh, like you, like this kid's right. And I hate that this cocky young bastard is right. And basically he like goes on with his life and it expects to be hearing about this book, you know, within a few years. A few years passes. He still hasn't had like this book hasn't hit, you know, the phenomena level that it was supposed to. And he like tries to find the kid and finds out that he actually died like a couple months after the class ended. And so he takes the plot and writes it himself and publishes it. And then I haven't got to the point yet, but it's like part of the blurb on the book is that he gets an email that's like, I know you stole the plot. And so it's like a thriller novel about like basically the whole, like I said, the bad art friend thing where like, do you take someone's real life experience and write it into a book? Whatever. Like we always say, it doesn't matter if someone takes your plot because they can never write your story the way that you could write your story. And so this is like an interesting take on like, did someone come up with a plot that was something completely different that no one else had ever done? And like, what is going to happen? The story is told like in past tense. So you get like these little inklings of where, you know, he'll say, if I had known at that moment what I know now, would I have made the same choices that I made? Like, and you know, like, it's just like building and building and building. I'm very, very intrigued to see what happens moving forward. So
sounds really good.
When I'm done with my romance binging, look into this.
I mean, by then I should be finished with it, so I will be able to tell you if it's like worth it or not.
That's fair. I appreciate that. Because if it's not romance, really it has to be worth my time. If it's romance, my bar for romance is underground. I recently read, I didn't know going into it because, again, I don't read blurbs. This romance that turned out to be a Christian romance, only like the Christian side of it was weird because I get halfway through this novel and then like they talk about how, oh, well, they haven't gone to church in a while. And I'm like, what?
I didn't
Hold
know
up.
that was part of this.
Then there's a part of it where he's all like, oh man, but like she's lost faith and everything, and maybe, and he's like, you're like so alone and like a part of you's empty, but maybe Jesus can fill it. And I'm like, I don't mind religious writing, but like Jesus should have been here from chapter 1. Why is he here at the Why did he get such a late invite? I don't understand.
He was behind the rock for the first half of the book.
But I really enjoyed the novel, and there was a twist in it that like kept me going because I was like, I need to know who the baby daddy is. I need to know, was he murdered? Was it an accident? What's going on here? Did I pick up another thriller? I also need to pay attention to subgenres attached to books. It's just like, oh, it's romance. Here we go. I've been reading this novel and like I think it has promise, but it reads a little like a first draft. Is you reading a first draft, Matt? Is this why you say that, or is it legit a book that reads like a first draft?
It's a first draft written by Matt Hullen. Perhaps you've heard of him.
Could be. Been reading the Cubio duology, but by Cat Joe. It's so good. I want to read it. It's my friend. He said it right there. Got you. It's in the standing of Infernal Devices.
Yeah.
I've been reading Labyrinth Lost for a book club, and it's pretty good. Awesome. What is it about? Yes. Last hours. I'm looking at
I'm so excited for Chain of Thorns to be out because I want to binge all of them and do a nice little reading vlog once Chains of Thorns is out. But it takes so much self-control not to read Chain of Gold because I want to read it so bad.
Highly recommend a binge read on those because I'm getting lost with characters. I need character maps.
I'm dying. I want to read it. I have both of the books on my shelf and they just haunt me every day. And when I found out that release was delayed, I like almost cried. That was a little embarrassing. I was like, are you kidding me?
I feel it though. I feel it.
I've cried over worse things.
Writers.
So
they're like, Sam, yeah, I don't cry when I read things. Also, Sam, the date was pushed back. What is Red, White, and Royal Blue about?
That's one of my favorite books.
It's a romance.
It's a romance.
About
That's all I need.
The future. Listen, it's the future, or it's an alternate future, yes, where the president of the United States has a son who is gay, and the Prince of England is gay, and it's an enemies to lovers. I haven't read it, but it is on my shelf.
So good. I literally
over there.
I annotated the fuck out of this copy.
Holy, that's a lot of annotations.
So it's so good. Oh my god, 10 out of 10. Recommend everyone. Please read this. Thank you.
Not me interrupting the stream, so I can look up if
it's fine. I have heard from people who are like native British readers that it's not like as perfect in their descriptions of things that are taking place in England. So like if you're a native British person, like be aware of that. But otherwise, I've heard it's really good.
Yeah, most of the British people that I know that have read it either hate it or they just suspend their disbelief a lot when reading it.
I do that all the time. Anytime something's set in small town USA, the disbelief I already activate it.
Yeah,
right there.
So definitely not perfect, but one of my faves.
I'm reading City of Brass by S.A. Chakra. I wholeheartedly apologize because I was about to say Chakra Booty.
That's what I thought when I saw it too.
I'm so sorry to Chakra Bordy. I mean, that's why I stopped mid-word. I was like, wait, that's not what that name says.
It's better than irrigating your toenails, so.
Again, I'm all for the feet washing. Listening to audio, so I'm a little lost, but I have all the ebooks, so I'll skim in for details later. That's fair. It's always weird for me when I go from an audiobook and then I have to spell things, especially if I'm listening to a Chinese inspired novel. Those names are never spelt the way I think after I hear them. Like, I can do the reverse. I can see the name and kind of guess at the pronunciation, but we cannot go from the sound to the letters. Only the letters to the sound.
I can't do either. Either way, I mess something up. There's always something that I'm just like, nope, that's not correct. But
so in the current book series I'm reading, I finished Obsidian. I think the next one's Onyx. I think the one I'm on is Onyx. But the main character, his name is Daemon, which I would pronounce as Damon.
Yeah.
But they call the person narrating it calls him Demon, and I'm like, is it me? Is it them?
I think it's the narrator. I think that's a narrator problem. That's definitely Damon.
This is traditionally published. At least I'm pretty sure. But it's okay. So every now and then she'd be like, and Demon stood there, and I'm like, it jars me a little bit, just a little bit.
Also, your boyfriend's a crossroads demon. Side note.
A little bit. Excuse me.
I could not.
It's expensive to join these streams. I keep buying books mid-conversation.
You're welcome.
I'm not sorry. I will, however, tell you about a completely free app called Libby. There's also Overdrive and Hoopla. These are all library apps. All you need is a library card, and you have access to all of the and audiobooks at your library, which is how look. If I actually had to pay for these things, I would be reading the synopsises. But I don't have to pay for them, so I'm just like, oh, that cover's good. Just one night, just one scandal, just one kiss. Yes. They're underground. The standards.
And some libraries like mine are weird, and they don't use the popular apps, and they use random apps. So always ask your library; they probably have some sort of app.
That's another one. Also, if you happen to have a friend in a different state, you can exchange library cards.
Exactly.
A lot of the public libraries don't actually care. Like, one of my sisters technically lives out of state because she's in Kentucky, not Tennessee. But our local library has more book options than hers does. So she came in, and if you don't live in our city, you can still get a library card. It's just like $20 a year. But the librarian was like, do you have family in the city? And she's like, well, yeah. And she's like, just have like junk mail or something sent to your mom's house and bring us the letter, and we'll give you a free library card. They don't care.
I love that.
I think once this novel I'm reading has been through several rounds of edits, everyone should read it. Highly recommended. I concur.
That's there.
Skim it. To be fair, I didn't realize you typoed until just this minute, and I was like, what did Emmy say? And then I realized the typo was skin, not skim.
She's going to skin the book, which is possible.
Fair.
But probably not going to help her in this situation.
Borrow a box if you're in Aussie. There you go. I mean Australia, not Aussie.
We knew what you meant. It's fine.
Yeah. That'll help me make rent next month. I am all for helping those who are poor, such as myself, because, like, I try to, if I really like an author, I will pre-order their book as long as, we have the extra and everything. But, like, if I don't know you and I just need 10 novels because it's 5 a.m, it's the library app. But if I like a book enough on the library app, I will put it on my to-buy list, which my husband's then like, but you already read it. And I'm like, it's called rereads. Sometimes when I'm in a mood, I need to know what roller coaster I'm hopping on. I need to know that I'm gonna get a little bit of a cute thing, and then an and then I can also fast forward through the because I've read it before, so I don't really gotta care about that part. And then the reuniting, and and then other times I don't care what the roller coaster is, and I get on the roller coaster expecting a lighthearted small town romance and getting aliens. It's like when you expect to drink juice and you drink Coke instead. It's like, I'm not against this, but it's not the flavor I was expecting.
Like back in the day when they had Crystal Pepsi, and so it would be like clear, and you'd be like, water, not water. Yeah.
I asked my son to bring me a cup of soda because when I have a migraine, Coca-Cola helps because of the high caffeine content. And he brought me Dr. Pepper, but he didn't tell me he brought me Dr. Pepper. And so I went to... There are a few weirder experiences in expecting one flavor and getting a different one.
Oh.
What was that? Oh, that was a Dr. Pepper. My bad.
It's like, why is this slightly cherry flavored? Oh, it's Dr. Pepper, not Coke. Especially when I'm like, we're out of cherry Coke. What is this?
Cherry Coke is the preferred Coke.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Is anybody looking forward to any book releases coming out real quick before we go into our final sprint?
All
I
of
know
them.
there's some, but I can't think.
You have suddenly forgot every book that will ever be published.
King of Thorns. I really want to read The Last Hours, but I don't remember other ones on the top of my head because I have an atrocious memory.
I mean, there's let's see, our wonderful friend Lizelle Samberry's second book is coming out this year.
When? What month? Jess, I need more details.
Hold on, I'm finding the date. Blood Like Fate, Lizelle Samberry, August 9th. Okay. Our other friend Lindsay Puckett, her book The Glass Witch comes out this year. I don't know when, but in the fall, sometime in the fall. Do any of our other friends have books coming out this year? I'm sure someone is screaming at me, "You're forgetting me," or "You're forgetting so and so."
Does Emily's book come out this year? Didn't you guys say she had a cover reveal?
Yes. There is not a definitive when though, but on my Instagram I did share. Hold on, I'll check the Insta. It was a Turge Painter finalist, if I remember right. I don't remember your blurb, but I remember that.
Emily said, "Cough, cough, me."
I mean, remember the black.
Yeah. I mean, we remember you.
Gallant by Victoria Schwab, Chain of Thorns by Cassie Clare. I think that's it. It says coming soon. It's called Ashwood and Brimstone. Release date TBA. There's a blurb there you can read. Page Turner finalist.
Listen, I'm on paper, and it's not on paper, so I don't.
It doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist.
Gosh,
not someone I'm friends with, or even in our little community, but Shiranje Zhao's coming out with a middle grade called Zachary Yang and the Dragon Emperor.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Has been described as Percy Jackson meets Yu-Gi-Oh.
I love that. I was recently gifted their debut novel, Iron Widow.
Iron Widow? Yeah. I
haven't read it yet. I really want to, but I do have it.
So good. I love the way that the polyamorous relationship was developed in that book.
I'm so excited to read that. I don't think I've read a book with a poly relationship before, so I'm very, very, very excited.
Shiranje Zhao's main character, their main character is also I don't think that they are canonically non-binary, but they read a lot to me as either someone who is non-binary or somebody who was very similar to me and kind of went through the whole thing of do I identify as a girl? Am I more masculine? Because we're like more masculine than people perceive females to be. But I know that Jiran themselves is non-binary with they/she pronouns. So I don't know if I'm projecting, but to me, it read that way. So
I feel like I've heard that from reviews. I feel like I've heard that there's some sort of character that people were saying that might be non-binary, but that's not.
I believe that's the main character. I'm pretty sure the main character isn't non-binary because they're based on a historical figure who was very much the only female emperor of China. So I'm pretty sure because of that, and to stick with that she is cis female. But for me, like, I'm not non-binary, but I did go through a thing in my life when I was very questioning and everything. I just happened to land in cisland. So
in cisland.
Yes, cisland.
As some of us do.
So, like, for me, like, there's a lot of instances where she's like, well, but what does it mean to be a woman? And do I have to do this because I'm a girl or that? And I'm like, I relate. So.
Well, and that makes sense for this. I mean, again, as someone who has not read the book, but just knows, like, the basic plot structure, it makes sense for the story as her being, like, the only female emperor. That would, like, it makes sense.
Well, I can tell you my tentative date off stream, so I don't have to commit to it. Don't tell me. I'll forget it's tentative. I'll tell people.
That's exactly what I just said.
I'm reading a cute novella called The Frog Dude. Ooh. Don't give me. Oh, yeah. I just saw that now. I'll just say it'll be the first half of the year. Which, like, if I didn't have brain fog, I would be like, yes, I am a vacuum. But otherwise, I'll be like, oh, yes, Emmy's book is coming out this time. So.
Also, my brain has completely forgotten that it's February. And, like, when you say the first half of the year, I'm thinking the first half of next year. And I'm like, no, it's February. She means this year.
She means, like, January 2023. Got it.
Right. That is exactly what my brain went to, like, okay, so, like, February, March. And then I'm like, no, this year. Not next year. Because I was thinking, like, I mean, it's the same amount of distance either way, but I was thinking it was, like, November. Okay. Okay.
Yes. All right. Are we ready for our final sprint of the night?
Yes. Make sure you put up the final sprint banner or you'll be angry at yourself.
No, I'll just get yelled at.
That too.
By me.
That too.
So you're not wrong. Well, to be fair, I actually the issue lately is because I just add the word final sprint to the scrolling banner so that this one can be right there. But then the next stream, the first sprint will have final sprint for a little bit. And then Fox will be like, Sam, you did it again. And I'm like, why?
You could just make two of them and put final 20-minute sprint at the beginning. But
then I'll click the wrong one. And then I'll be more upset than just having forgotten to edit it.
You put it in the front. In the front of it. Final 20-minute writing.
No, see, but here's the thing. Because I have the way I have it set up. Hold on. We can't do the final sprint yet. I gotta show a thing. Okay, so everybody gets to see. So the thing is, the way I have it set up is like up here we've got the little ticking, right? And then it's like, how did everybody do? How's everybody's weekend? What's everyone working on? Right? So that's good.
Right.
And then we scroll down and it's like, bam, bam. Like, I made a bigger one, but that's because the 20 and the 35 are different words. So it's eye-catchy to me. If I had one that said the same thing but said final sprint, then not paying attention, I would reflexively just click the wrong thing.
All right.
I know me.
I know. You know who knows you better than me? You.
Fox.
Fox. Also Chris. Also Matt. also CB, but it's fine.
Fox sent me an angry face. Look, CB decimated that burn Sam's Biscuits category, and I think that's been her proudest moment on stream.
Listen, I got like the bonus point anime question, so
You also dominated the Fox category, which is more impressive to me. I'm sorry, Em. All right. So count us down.
3, 2, 1, go.
So, it's our final check-in, right?
Yeah.
I looked over my outline
Mhm.
and realized that either the scene I thought I needed to finish before I could send it to my alpha CP, I finished it or I can't find it. So I went ahead and sent it to him. And he's going to look over, make sure all the plot point 25 onward is not detailed at all. They're just very basic. But I need to know that the other 24 before it work, since I added in 2 whole subplots.
Oh.
So I need to make sure everything's still good there before I continue.
Mhm.
And then I was like, well, I've got about 10 minutes left, so let me start reading Fox's manuscript. Where did I put that Dropbox box? What is this thing in my Dropbox called old art? There was another rabbit hole I went down.
I love that.
Found a picture called Magic Sam, which I was like, I have no memory of this. What are you? I'm digging the design though. And then right by that was Sentai Chris. So what I assume I did was I made Magical Girl Sam and Sentai Chris. Because I don't know how many people know this about me. I used to do a lot of art. I'm not going to say I was ever the greatest of artists, but I really am a big fan of my own designs. I think I designed things well, regardless of overall quality of the picture. So. I also found an old coat of arms looking thing I made myself. And some Gerudo fan art, which I've been giving Gerudo abs since the 2000s. I didn't need Botwa to tell me they should have abs. So there's that.
Love that.
How did you two do? Chat, how did you do?
I did good. I finally made my thumbnail for my video that's going live tomorrow. I've been putting it off for no reason at all. It takes like 5 minutes, and I was like, I'm not going to do it. I finally did all the script. I was like, okay, I finished my editing goal for today, so I really need to do that thumbnail. So I did that.
Glad to help you get that done. I get that. There's apparently a symptom of migraines also can be a symptom of dyslexia is executive dysfunction.
Oh yeah.
And I hate that. I have that very strongly with the dishes because as like a teenager, like my family was very much those people who soak dishes before they wash them. But like both of my parents worked and like my grandma was taking care of us a lot of the times, and so then like the dishes would soak for a day or so. And then it's like, Sam, go do the dishes. And I'm like, that's a mystery ick. I'm about to have to put my hand in to drain the dishwater for some fresh water. So now that's like so deeply associated. There's no water in my sink. None at all. But I'm just like, I don't want to touch those dishes. Like, normally I have very strong like cleaning attention issues where I start, sweeping the living room, and then I go to put something in the trash in the kitchen, and then I'm cleaning the kitchen counter, and then I go take something in the living room, and I'm cleaning the living room again. Today, I was like cleaning the living room, took something in the kitchen, saw the dishes, noped the fuck back out of there.
I feel you.
I worked on my reading planner, watched a YouTube video, and worked on my thumbnail for Friday's live stream.
Nice. Emily is most of the way through chapter 4 copy edits.
Yay.
Yes, copy edits. The almost final read through. Then there's proofing. Whenever my friends are like, I need a proofreader, I'm like, not me. I could do anything but that. My dyslexia be like, I didn't even know that the Emmy typoed skim is skin until she pointed it out. You don't want my proofreading services.
Don't want me to do it for sure.
It's funny because people always recommend, for you to like read your book out loud, and that'll like point out the issues. But I'll just read it as I wrote it. I like, or like what I think it says. I won't like read what I actually wrote, and then a CP will be like, "Hey, that's not how words work,"
See, it also doesn't,
and then I'll be like, "Wait, what?"
It also doesn't work for me because I'm dyslexic, and dyslexia is a communication thing. And so for me, backwards syntax and whatnot is my natural way of thinking. So then, like, I'm reading a sentence and it makes sense to me. I read it out loud, it still makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Also, dyslexia performs magic. And I will literally read a word. I physically see the word spelled correctly. And then like Fox would be like, Sam, there's a typo in this paragraph. And I'm like, but for where? But what type? I don't see it. And then he'll like screenshot it and he'll highlight it. And then I'll go to my document and it's there. And I'm like, what Houdini shit is this? What magic veil has just been lifted from my document?
How dare you go in and edit it to make it look like I had a typo?
He's done that before, though, to fuck with me with Photoshop. Because, I mean, he doesn't do that when we're, like, seriously talking about edits. But when we're goofing around, his Photoshop skills are godly. I was just... No. There was like one time, I don't remember what it was he did to my website. Oh, I think it's like, so the thing is, I'm a god. And he went in and Photoshop did that. And I was like, did you actually change the website? Or is this just Photoshop? He's like, no, I didn't change the website for this. I was like, actually, hold on. I have it still. I'm going to share with the world. In case you haven't seen that is what I theorize is one of his favorite pastimes. It's just taking out of quote things from the stream and then putting them places.
You're not wrong.
Chat doesn't want to tell us what they did. Most of them probably went to sleep. They're like, bitch. You usually end 30 minutes previous to now. Oh shit. No, go back.
Go back. What's wrong with that? Looks great.
Let's
keep it like that all the time.
Oh, this? Yeah, see, this is perfect. I think it's great, but
I love it. Oh my god.
Especially like with the expression. Like, so here's the thing. I'm a god.
I mean,
I don't even remember the context through which I said. I think I was talking about character. We might have been discussing how like some people will be like, oh, well, my characters got away from me, or like just like they're frustrated because their characters won't do what they want them. And I'm like, so here's the thing. I'm a god. They're gonna do what I say.
They do what I tell them to do, or they die.
I might still kill them anyway. I'm not a merciful god.
Don't have to be if I don't want to be.
Yeah.
No, there's this. I read some more, but I don't know how much I read. That's fair. Proofreaders will probably be me and Dan. My funds have been depleted.
That's fair.
Like anybody with good eyes and who know English good. My brain that's English well, but I know the good
which
English.
Is kind of the point.
Like, sometimes things kill me. Well, see, here's the thing. I would just say English good. Like, that's just how I say it. And especially since I like saying the word good in, like, so many different ways. It's so fun to say. But then, like, I'm married to an English major. I technically think he's actually a creative writing major, but also has an English degree.
Mhm.
Who's Bun? What is your degree in? Oh, he's nowhere near me. He's been playing his game, but now he's gone. But yeah, so he could proofread for me. He can't edit, like I still need a professional editor, but I think he can proofread.
Mhm.
Let the dogs out and started packing for my workout tomorrow, but no actual work done. That's work. Don't let anybody tell you that taking care of the living beings that depend upon ye is not work.
Mhm.
It has had a copy and line edit though. They're one and the same. Cool. So I'm pretty confident that it's fine. I mean, like I said, I just can't.
Mhm.
Oh, and to develop the most important of it. By a professional. Also a very important distinction. All right, so we should go ahead and say goodnight because
Mhm.
I'm starting to ramble.
I've yawned 14 times.
Well, we can't leave till she yawns 20. Get those other 6 out. One day she's gonna be tired of my shit and actually fire me, except she can't fire me.
You're fired.
But then who will update the Discord?
Oh God. Okay, fine. You can stay. You can stay. I'm fired. You stay. I'll go.
Little did you know, all those years ago when I suggested the Discord, I was really making myself invaluable.
I know, right? How dare. Ugh.
It's my devious plan.
Ugh, my eyeball's on fire. I'm not gonna make it.
All right, Ren, go ahead and outro yourself so that just doesn't die on stream.
Thank you
Your
all
view count will go
for
up.
coming. I had a blast. My first stream. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm so tired. It's like it's only 2 days, and I'm just like I don't know what I'm saying anymore.
Started.
But my links are below. Check me out. I have a video coming tomorrow about romance. Yeah, I'm really tired. I'm probably gonna go to sleep after this. Because I'm a grandma at heart, apparently. Because it's like 8 and I'm ready to go to bed.
Just Fox has informed me he's going to fire us both from our own event and replace us with text to speech.
Replace us with what?
Text to speech.
Oh. Okay. Sure.
Like, that's fine.
That's fine. That's absolutely fine. Okay, anyway.
Anyway.
Thank you for coming today and for seeing me 3 days in 1 week with Sam. Because we've been here quite a lot lately. All of my links are down below if you like my face and would like to see me more. And that's all I've got for today. Sam's over there.
Hello, I am Writing Mom Samantha Nasset. This is my channel where I talk about writer things, parent things, and writer parent things. I host live streams like these on Mondays where sometimes we get work done, talk a lot, and other times we just talk about things that I want to talk about. Like next week, we will be discussing romance in fiction. And then at the end of the month, we are on season 4 of Sailor Moon. When I post videos and writing content and such, they are on Thursdays. Still on my health hiatus. It'll be done eventually. If you would like to read a sample of my writing so that you know that I am not completely and totally full of shit when it comes to writing advice, you can read Until Pizza Do Us Part on my website, SamanthaLNasset.com. And if you would like while you're there, you can sign up to my newsletter to keep up to date with all things Sam, including WWW stuff. If you'd like to support the channel, you can like the stream, subscribe, ring the notification bell so that you are always alerted to when I go live or post new videos. And if you would like to help get the Corner Fox and our pretty background back, you can donate to the Ko-fi down below.
Give the Sam the money.
Yes. And thank you, everybody, for coming by. Thanks, Ren and Jess, for co-hosting with me today. And yeah, hope you all had a good time. Bye.
Bye.